people are starting to realize that this is something that we should actually take into consideration. Once you start shopping like slow fashion versus fast fashion, the purpose is also really to challenge those big companies out there, to make a
Mhm.
change. I mean, if two girls can start a sustainable fashion brand, why can't they?
That was a hoot!
What is poppin', everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Raucous Modern Life podcast, a lifestyle show which features conversations with some of the most interesting and inspiring young adults living here in the Philippines. The purpose of this show is to educate the listeners and myself about different hot topics in Filipino society and culture while providing quality kalokohan. Let's get to it. Sup guys, it's your boy Rocka, and before we start the show, I just want to talk a bit about our sponsor for today's episode, the Snacc Den. The Snacc Den is a local brand that sells, well, as you might guess, snacks. They're here to solve all your snacking needs with flavors that bring you way back to your childhood. Get the Bobby's Tots, inspired by the cheese lover, Bobby Zimiruski, from a goofy movie to satisfy all your cheesy, gooey, crunchy cravings. Pair those tots with some fresh and tasty Remy's marinara sauce, made by the one and only Michelin star rodent himself, Remy the Rat. Or better yet, avail of the snack pack, which gives you both the tots and the sauce for 50 pesos less. They even throw in some nachos so that you can scrape all that marinara goodness to the bottom of the jar. Order now from the Snacc Den by searching them on Facebook and Instagram under @Snacc.Den or text them at 0917-879-0164. That's SNACCDEN for your newest addiction. Now, let's get into the episode. What's poppin', everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Raucous Modern Life podcast. Clothes are an essential to our lives, and it has also been an avenue for us to express ourselves. However, with capitalism and money generating schemes blinding the morals of many businessmen around the world, majority of clothing brands are now considered fast fashion, and the effects of it has clearly made an impact on our planet that we call home. Luckily, there are now many fashion brands who work against this existing system, fostering change to fashion products towards a greater ecological integrity and social justice. On today's show, I have on air the two sisters who started their own sustainable activewear brand called Sunnysix Active. One of them was basically my roommate in college, while the other I spent some great and very blurry memories in Singapore last year. It is my pleasure to introduce
Oh
you
my
all
god.
to the women behind Sunnysix Active, the Shah sisters, Martina and Sammy Shah. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for being on the show.
Hey, Rocket.
Hey,
Thanks for having
Rocket.
us.
Of course. I'm so glad to have you guys on. And can I just say that I really love that you guys started this project with so much purpose and like your designs are really so dope. Like, when is the men's line gonna drop? I was talking to you guys about this earlier. I want to be part of that Totally Spies crew.
Wait for it. It will come. The time will come for sure.
That's awesome. But yeah, you guys are really so inspiring and fun to be around. Like, I think it's been a while since we've all last caught up. Maybe even since like Singapore last
Since
year.
Singapore.
Yeah.
Since
Oh my
John
gosh.
Mayer.
That
Oh
was
my god. Since that man
I
right
don't even
there, John Mayer,
Oh,
the
shit.
only man to make me cry. Well, no, that's a lie. A lot of men have made me cry, but that's out of the topic. But yeah,
My gosh.
so happy to have you guys on, and been wanting to cover this topic for quite a while now. So wouldn't have wanted any other guests to be on.
Oh, thanks.
Yee. Thank you.
Of course. All right. So let's start the pod as I always do by asking the question, "What's poppin'?"
What's poppin'?
So, guys, what's poppin'?
Okay, so for me, I recently just binged Stranger Things. So I'm on a Stranger Things high. Like, this is my first time ever watching it. I don't know why I've never started. What else? I've been taking care of plants. Like my room is a jungle right now.
Yeah, I can see.
And I've been really getting into like redecorating my room and interior design in some way. Yeah. How about you, Maui?
Okay, well, for me, baka rude naman to say this, but I'm really enjoying the freedom here in Singapore. So for those who don't know,
It's rude.
It's masks off out there, right?
sorry. No. Mask on for
Mask
but
on, Paran.
yeah, I think things in Singapore are quite lenient, so things are really getting better. So we can do normal activities and stuff. So I'm really trying to make the most out of it. So I do a lot of outdoor activities, see my friends, go to like fitness studios, and really try to make most of my time here. So sorry for saying that, but yeah, that's what's up in Singapore right
Jealous.
now.
The perks of a good government, that's all I
But
can say.
of course, the downside, the downside is not being able to go home. So I haven't been home since January. So that's about, oh my God, is it 10 months now?
Damn.
Yeah.
Is this
So
the longest you've been away from home?
yeah, for sure. So
Yeah.
I miss everyone back home, but I think it's good that we have video call. I'm
Mhm.
able to see,
Yeah.
talk to my parents, my siblings, and
Yeah,
stuff.
and your dogs. Your dogs are the
Oh,
cutest.
that's so
Last time I saw
sad.
them, they were like this small, and now they're
And
like
they're
huge.
They're
huge. They're
huge.
huge.
They
What are the
sleep with
names again?
me. Cooper and Baker.
Hmm.
So
Sheldon Cooper.
Cooper, Sheldon, was it for Sheldon Cooper? And
Yeah,
Oh,
Baker
really?
because of Chet
Chet
Baker.
Baker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that's
So my
why.
dad named one, and then Sammy and Miguel kind of like chose the other one. Yeah.
cute. So who named the one Sheldon Cooper?
Yeah.
Your dad?
Yeah.
My dad.
We're like,
Yeah.
That's so cute. They're so adorable, and it's
Yeah.
crazy how like social media can kind of make you meet dogs, or like not only dogs, but like people in general, like without even physically meeting them. So it's like I saw from your stories that when they were also puppies, and then it was their birthday like recently, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
saw them like, wow, they're huge,
I
and I
know.
love poodles, so kind of
They
biased.
are.
But
Yeah, they're
yeah,
the best.
yeah,
Really
super,
so cute.
super smart, super snuggly.
Mm,
But yeah, that's great. It's nice to know
super.
that you guys are doing well, Sammy, with your plants. For those who are watching the the video version, you can see her plants in the background.
Wait, I have plants also.
Oh, okay. Hey, okay. Gotta flex your
Hello,
plants when you
hello,
can.
We
hello.
also.
Okay.
Hey,
Gotta
plant
say, I'm a
fam.
plant mom too.
Do you guys name your plants, or is that not really your type of thing?
Oh,
Kind of.
well,
Kind of,
I
just a bit.
I used to, but then it got too much, so I can't remember anymore. Can't keep up.
Fair enough. What about you, Maui? You do?
Mm.
Yeah, some, but I mean,
Some
that's for next time.
that's for a whole other episode.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, nice to know you guys have been doing great. For me, aside from school, work with Fund the Forest and this podcast, I just
Mm.
For
watched
the future na.
yeah, for the future na. Sorry, thanks for correcting me. FTF, FTF.
Yes,
It's a
yes. I'm
rebrand, you know.
updated. I'm
Ni-
updated.
Nice to know, nice to know. But yeah, other than that, I watched Life on Our Planet by Sir David Attenborough himself over the weekend.
Mm.
So good. Highly recommend it for anyone. Not
Oh
even
my
someone that
God.
likes plants or animals, just anyone in general. And if you're listening to this podcast, you probably have some at least interest in, sustainability, our ecosystem, and all of that. So
Mm.
highly recommend that.
Same here. I just replied to your story, Rocket. It was like
Hmm.
this morning or yesterday about
Yeah.
it. And it's a crazy, crazy documentary that I think everyone should watch. I mean, there are a lot of key takeaways there, but
Yeah, like you
I
said,
think,
moral
yeah,
of the story. Don't have kids.
don't
Kids
have
suck.
kids.
Just cry and milk out your money.
And plant trees.
Plant
That's the other
trees.
one. That's
Hmm.
the other one.
Yeah, and eat less meat. But yeah,
Yes.
that's a whole other episode that we
Yeah,
can get
maybe
into.
later.
Yeah, maybe later actually.
Maybe later, maybe
It kind of
later.
applies as well.
Yeah.
But all right, so I guess we should get into the real meat of the show, the topic of this podcast, which is Sunnysix Active and sustainable fashion. So I want to start off this podcast by asking you guys, what is Sunnysix Active, and why did you guys decide to start a sustainable brand?
Okay, so I guess I can start with this. So Sunnysix Active offers sustainable activewear. So our first collection is actually made out of regenerated ocean waste. So regenerated ocean waste meaning discarded fiction nets and other debris, and this is turned into yarn, which can be used for textiles. So then that is what our activewear is made out of. And then our brand is also like our goal is also to inspire others to get moving every day and live consciously. So it's not just about hard selling workout clothes like here, buy your things, but it's also really meant to
Yeah.
inspire others.
Yeah.
Yeah, and why we decided to do activewear is because we had to find something that we were both passionate about. So we had a shared passion for um, fitness and sustainability, and we wanted to make something that we both loved. And from looking at the Philippine market, we noticed that not like I think we're the first in the
The
Philippines
Philippines,
Wow.
who created
Kudos to you guys.
sustainable activewear. So yeah, for um we just saw this opportunity and we took it, and I'm glad we did because we've been learning a lot from this experience. And we get to apply everything we learned in school here. And yeah.
Yeah, so I think with our brand also, it's just that like how we started. It's that like one random day in 2019, I was reading Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, the creator of Nike, and
Yeah.
I
Great
was
book.
feeling like super inspired, like less than 50 pages in. And then I decided to message Sammy, and I was saying, I wanted to start something of my own, so let's do something about it. And then yun nga, so we decided to start something that we were both passionate about, which was both fitness and sustainability. And it was definitely something we wanted to combine. It wasn't just sustainability or it wasn't just fitness. It had to be something combined. So one of the reasons why we wanted to do this was because we are passionate about like fitness and like movement in general, as well as living consciously. So then this term of like living consciously means not just in like solely like sustainable fashion, but also generally just living a sustainable lifestyle. So it was something that we kind of wanted to like branch out and kind of like somehow inspire others to do as well.
Yeah, that's great. And when you have a product that's driven by something with purpose, it really makes it so much easier to do the work because you know that there's always a bigger picture than just making income. And it also allows you to be more creative with your work because if you're passionate about it, then you're constantly thinking about it and thinking of ways to improve it. And it's such great purpose also. Like, I my my undergraduate degree was sports science, so I also know how important it is to be healthy, not only physically but mentally as well. And that kind of applies to being conscious and being aware of your decisions with that you make. And also recently, since I got on board with FTF, like sustainable lifestyle has been kind of a I don't know. I've been like getting into that rabbit hole and reading up a lot on it, and it's crazy just like to know how much effect the effect of your decisions, like the little things that you didn't think really like mattered, it actually does matter in the long run. And yeah, that's great. And I guess this would be a good way to like segue into my next question, which is like, what's the importance of sustainable fashion and the effects of fast fashion?
So I think with fast fashion, there's maybe I could say like three things to it or three parts to it. So one, it's that fast fashion creates so much waste, like so much waste that we don't even realize it. Second, it uses materials that are harmful to the environment. And third, it really has something to do with unethical manufacturing. So, of course, when it comes to fashion in general, it's something that's not really top of mind to all of us. We want to go shopping, we want to enjoy like buying new things or buying the cheapest stuff out there. And it was never really top of mind where we think like, oh, where did our clothes come from? Who made it? Where are the materials from? It's never like that for
Yeah,
everyone, right? So
for most people.
yes, exactly. And even for me, to be honest, it was never really top of mind until I researched more and talked to more people and everything that I realized there's this whole issue behind it pala. And I think through our brand, it's nice that we're able to kind of reach people because we've had people approach us. I mean,
Oh,
approach us
really?
through like Instagram, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Social distancing for
yes, yes, exactly.
now.
Through Instagram, where we're able to have this discussion regarding, let's say, sustainability versus consumerism, or
Mm-mm.
fast fashion or sustainable fashion. We're actually able to have this conversation with people, and we're glad to know that we're able to reach people or actually help people become aware of this issue, which is really nice for us actually, because we didn't think that it was something that we'd be able to do. It just actually went along with like what we're doing, so it's
Mhm.
nice to be able to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, personally, before Sunnysix Active, like I wasn't really, thinking about fast fashion. Like I was just buying from like Zara, H&M, and whatever. But then, after um going through the process of, creating Sunnysix Active, I guess I became more aware of like where I get my clothes from. So like, it's still I'm still
Process.
learning, like, yeah, like trying to buy more from, local shops or secondhand shops. And it's just, it's hard because like sometimes you just, want to buy what you see. It's
Yeah,
just easier
of
that
course.
way. But
Instant gratification.
yeah, instant
Yes,
gratification.
exactly.
So
And yeah.
yeah, I guess just like for me personally, I've been trying to buy more things that, I can see myself wear like in the long run, like classics over trends. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
completely agree.
Yeah.
And
And
I think, yeah,
yeah.
sorry, when it comes to fashion too, I guess it's like I mean, both of us, like Sammy and I, we're not perfect. We're not like 100% sustainable.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, it is still a process. I mean, you got to start somewhere, right?
Mhm.
And I think it's so nice that people are starting to realize that this is something that we should actually take into consideration. Once you start shopping like slow fashion versus fast fashion, the purpose is also really to challenge those big companies out there, to make a
Mm-mm.
change. I mean, if two girls can start a sustainable fashion brand, why can't they?
Yeah,
But then
Yeah.
again, it comes to that question of profit versus planet, right? So the
yeah,
thing is,
Mm.
with Sammy and I, with Sunnysix Active, profit will never be our first purpose. Like up to now, I mean, I don't
Yeah.
really want to say, but then I don't
yeah,
think we're really making profit yet.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, like transparency over here. I mean, this is not our purpose at the beginning. We're like 3, 4 months in, but that's really not our purpose. And if that was our
Yeah.
purpose from the beginning, then we wouldn't be as passionate about it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah, like I mean, 2020, the year of realizing things.
Yes. I mean,
But
you.
for sure, and that's so great. Like, okay, I'm gonna be completely honest here, and
Okay.
I wasn't really someone that knew so much about fast fashion and actually the
Mhm.
effects
Mm.
that we're going into this. So when you guys agreed to being on this podcast, syempre, research dapat, and
Yeah.
I was like, I was so astonished as to like what the fashion industry goes through and what it's
I
actually like,
know.
and like all
Mm.
of these, like there's so many dimensions to it, an ecological impact, an ethical impact, and
Mm-mm.
yeah, it's crazy like how all of these fast fashion brands, I mean, I'm not gonna name any brands, but like the quality, you could tell it's like it's good at the start, but then it only lasts like 2 years, and then
Mm-mm.
it's really
Mm,
part of
yeah.
their marketing also. Like you'll wear this for 2 years and you'll buy another one. And
Yeah.
you know there's I was listening to this podcast actually on it, and somebody said it like super perfect. I can't remember the name, so I can't quote her, but then she said, if clothes are so cheap and you're wondering why you're not paying for that price, then that means somebody else is paying for it. And that one
Mm,
like just hit me so
Exactly.
hard. Like,
yeah.
that means like a laborer may be paying for it. And
Mm-mm.
it's just so like disappointing also that there's so many brands nowadays wherein they say like, oh, it's like eco-friendly, oh, it's a conscious edition or line with that, but they don't show any transparency report, and like they don't show pictures of the factory. They just said like, oh, you made with recyclable stuff or eco-friendly, it has that leaf pa at the bottom na one. But like, yeah, that's what's great about your brand. Like you
Yeah.
guys show the factory, the people that
Yeah.
work there, and yeah, like how it comes from like the ocean nets with your ties with what's it?
Healthy
Ocean
seas.
LPCs.
LPCs. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's amazing. Actually, I
Yeah.
wanted to ask, this isn't really part of my outline, but I'm just interested, like, how do they make the clothes or like the yarn out of the nets? I'm like,
So
I have
yeah,
no
so they
idea.
definitely have like this system that they've already made. I don't exactly remember like the step-by-step process, but they first like collect the nets, and then they have like this system that they have, and then they're able to transform it into regenerated nylon. So nylon that we use for the textiles.
Mm,
I
Yeah.
don't I am not super familiar with the exact process. It's very technical.
yeah, for
I
sure.
don't
There's
know
like some
background, but yeah.
Yeah.
machine that like chomps it all up,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah,
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 exactly.
machine.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's just like
Yeah.
how, how some fabric is made out of plastic bottles. It's like they collect the plastic bottles and then they make it into pellets, and then those pellets are made into yarn. So it's something
oh,
similar
that's
Mm.
of
cool.
that sense. Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
super
Mm-mm.
yeah,
cool.
parang sneak peek lang for our second collection. Plastic
Hey,
Oh.
bottles.
exciting, exciting.
But yeah, so it's in that process. Yeah, so it's nice to see that there are alternatives to sustainable fabric, eco fabric, or like what
Mm-mm.
you mentioned earlier, rocking. I think it's more on like greenwashing. When people
Mhm.
say, "Oh, this is
Yeah.
sustainable" or "This is eco-friendly," but then they don't have proof to it, or they're not transparent about it. So that's something I think we should all be quite careful about, because there's some like brands out there who are just gonna say, "Oh, we're sustainable or we're eco-friendly," and then you're like, "Oh, okay, take my money," but then you actually don't know what you're
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah,
So it's something we
Yeah.
definitely have to be a bit like
Yeah.
conscious about.
Transparency
Yeah,
definitely is key.
yeah,
yeah.
for sure. Because you need to make sure that your audience is like woke on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was
Yeah,
great.
definitely.
So we'll take
Mhm.
a quick break, and I'll ask them a little bit more about Sunnysix Active and sustainable lifestyle right after this.
This episode is brought to you by The Snacc Den. The Snacc Den is a local shop that brings you non-conventional snacks closer by cooking up healthier, great-tasting versions of some of your favorite go-tos. Craving for some cheesy goodness? Try out their Bobby's Tots, which are mozzarella and ricotta cheese tots wrapped in Italian seasoning and baked, not fried, to golden crispy goodness. Inspired by the cheese lover Bobby Zimmerowski from a Goofy movie, these are sure to hit the spot. Pair that with some homemade and fresh marinara sauce called Remy's Marinara, which consists of Roma and vine-ripe tomatoes, veggies, and secret but legal herbs that'll leave your mouth watering for more. Named after the head chef Remy from Ratatouille, you know this one's a banger. Honestly, I'd recommend to get both in their snack pack, which gives you both of those two options and free nachos for 50 pesos less. Trust me, you'd need those nachos. Unless you want to finish that marinara sauce with your fingers, but no judgies, I do the same. Order now from the Snacc Den by searching them on Facebook and Instagram under snack.den, or text them at 0917 879 0164. That's SNACCDEN for your newest addiction. The Snacc Den. Casual, convenient, and controlled snacking.
And we're back. All right, so to start off from the break, I wanted to ask you guys, like, what are some benefits of living a sustainable lifestyle? Like, whether personal benefits or, ecological benefits, or in the long run. It's up to you guys.
Okay, I think from like a bigger picture, I think for me it's like being able to really positively contribute, somehow to like society or to the environment in a way. And with Sunnysix Active, we always say that small conscious choices are better than none at all. And we always try to repeat this because sometimes people are just gonna think like, I hassle to do this, I won't do it na lang. But then for me, it's really like putting the effort in, and I think not minding the hassle. Like I always tell myself, like, don't mind the hassle. I mean, when I say this, it means like some examples would be, let's say, bringing your own let's say, reusable jug versus buying a plastic bottle or water from, let's say, 7-Eleven, or bringing your own reusable mug versus getting like a disposable like coffee cup from like a cafe, or let's say separating your trash, like having your own compost pile versus just throwing all your trash into one. So for me, I mean, to some people it's always going to be like inconvenient or hassle or whatever, but I think the key thing is just really don't mind the hassle, or another way of saying is just like, Nikes, just do it,
Yeah.
like just do it. And I think
Shoe
it's
dog
really,
talaga.
yeah, exactly. I think that's really one of my like inspirations na parang I think it's just about really putting the effort in, but even before that, it's about being aware. Because like
Yeah.
not everyone's gonna be like, okay, I know this is what I'm supposed to do, but it's really starting from somewhere, I think. And being able to do this, I think you're able to do better.
Yeah.
Basically, like for yourself, for the environment, for the world, for
No,
the
yeah.
future.
For the
Diba?
future, eh, wag.
And it's
But
not all like, it's not just like, oh, this thing that I do, but it's really something I truly care about. Yeah.
no, and yeah, that like completely makes sense. It all, you have to start somewhere, and like more often times, if you actually commit yourself too deep into like a sustainable lifestyle, you're gonna burn out and you're gonna fail. Honestly, like if you're gonna be like, I'm not gonna eat meat anymore. I'm gonna segregate everything. I'm only gonna buy stuff from sustainable stuff. Like
Yeah.
eventually, you're gonna get tired. So it's all like you said, it's about educating yourself and working.
Mhm.
With small steps. Like those little steps, they really pile up. Like
Yes.
it's like it becomes like a compound effect. So kind of like how compound interest works. Like if
Mm,
1% every day, and then at the end
exactly.
of the day, it's like 36% better than you were last year.
Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, from the beginning, it's not like you're gonna know everything. I mean, it's really like a combination of everything, like the books you read or the podcasts you listen to, right? Or like the series or documentaries you watch, the experiences you've had, or the people you meet. I mean, it's all of this together that you're able to really keep doing more. And like for me, from the beginning, it was just not using straws and then not using disposable cups. And then slowly having my hydro flask with me everywhere, and then having my own reusable shopping bag, and then now composting and not eating meat. And it's a journey, I guess. It sounds kind of cliche, but
Yeah.
it's true. It's not like you're gonna do all of that at like the beginning.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
never
you
gonna be a
gotta,
straight line. It's gonna be a roller coaster.
yeah,
But
exactly. And you kind of learn a lot on the way, and you kind of make yourself aware. Like I never really thought like composting was a big thing, and I thought like it's such an easy thing to do. Why don't I try doing it? And then you realize that you read more about it, and there's just so many benefits, right? So I think it's about really putting the effort in.
yeah,
Yeah.
completely agree.
Yeah, definitely like at home, like it's so much harder because like we're like a whole family. We're like five in the family without Maui. So it's like there's so much to like, like everything we consume, like when my dad buys groceries or all of these things that come in like plastic packaging and everything. It's so hard to like kind of stop that habit because like my parents are in charge of like providing the groceries in the house, the toiletries and everything.
Mm.
So definitely it's hard when you're living with like a whole household who who aren't as conscious about it. That's the good thing about Maui because
Yeah.
like she has the freedom to like really just
Oops, getting choppy.
she
Oh, Sammy.
consumes and like
Okay,
she
hold
can.
up, go.
Yeah, so living like in a household with family versus like living alone, like that's the good thing about Maui. Since she lives alone, she's more like conscious about like what she consumes. Like now, like I think you do bulk shopping, right? You bring
Yeah.
your own containers,
Yes, exactly.
and
So yeah, I think that's the
yeah,
thing with living alone, or like even being in a place like Singapore where there are actually
mm,
alternatives, like they actually provided for you. So I'm able to like shop my groceries for myself, and I go to like a bulk shop, so where I bring my own containers and I don't use any packaging. So that actually makes such a big difference. Like I didn't realize how much waste I was producing
mm,
until I went to a zero waste shop. So I guess there are
yeah,
different like pros in living alone as well, that you're able, like that I'm able to do this, and living back in Manila before, it was definitely difficult. It's not like we were gonna go to like Makati or somewhere just to buy groceries because it was a bit difficult.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
always go to the more convenient place for you, right?
Yeah. And that's the
Yeah.
thing actually with like, the Philippines. It's really like because, obviously the Philippines is far from like an eco-friendly country. And that's where it
Definitely.
gets kind of sticky because, luckily for us, we generally come from pretty privileged and blessed lives that we
Mm-hmm.
actually can have the option to choose sustainable lifestyle. Like most other people
Mm-hmm.
can't. Like the main focus in their life is getting by every day, putting
Mm-hmm.
food on the plate. So, for all of the people who can make a difference, those who can choose, more sustainable products, like why not? Like why don't
Yeah.
you make that go out and, just try to make that difference? And, you never know also who you might inspire. I'm pretty sure your family's gotten a little bit more like conscious as regards
Mm-hmm.
to sustainability. I know Noah definitely has been a little bit more conscious with that, and
Good.
good. You
He
go get
does.
it if you don't.
Yeah, he does compost also. So
But yeah, like your impact. It
yeah.
though it may not seem like you're doing much, it goes a lot longer of a way than you actually realize it, and yeah, I feel like that's a great way for us that do have the option to take that next step in creating a better world for our future, because this is
Mm-hmm.
the world that we're going to be living in for sure, and
Mm-hmm.
we may be bringing our children into, so
Mm-hmm.
you want to make it like
Exactly.
the best possible world that we can. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's why your brand is awesome, and I love the purpose that you're trying to apply it.
Yeah, I mean,
um
definitely, like for now, it's very small scale still. Like, we're not able to reach as much people yet, but that is the
Yeah.
goal, to kind of branch out more. But it's nice to know that we're able to somehow inspire a little
Mm-mm.
for some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, and yeah, so speaking of your brand, like, like you said, there were a lot of challenges. Like, there's a smaller market for it. Only like
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
probably Class A can really afford that stuff, or even
Mm-hmm.
Class A even
Mm-hmm.
thinks about shopping sustainably and
Yeah.
avoiding fast fashion. But yeah, so like there must have been a lot of difficulties, trying to plan out your market scheme, and like, like you said, your margins aren't the best. It's not like, you're in it for the profit. So
Yeah.
I guess I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
ask you lastly on this topic, like what's one thing you wish you knew before starting a sustainable activewear brand or sustainable brand in general?
Um, I mean, like what we mentioned earlier, right? We're not really here for like the profit. It's really more like for the planet part of it. And we don't want to be with that stigma na sustainable products are really expensive, but we have no choice. Like, we don't really even put like such a big markup. Like, the markup that we put is used for our next collection, and it's really difficult to be super affordable because then what our consumers or what our customers are paying for is, one is the eco-friendly materials, and second would be the ethical manufacturing part. Like, what you're actually paying for is the fair labor of the manufacturers,
Mm.
compared to others where it's like, they get paid below this
Mm-hmm.
or they don't even get paid.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do here is really promote the
Yeah.
ethical manufacturing part and do better for the planet. So we're glad that we're able to provide this alternative to others. I mean, in the Philippines, it's not readily available. I mean, there are other bigger brands out there, like in the US, but then it's hard for them to come here, right? Or
Mhm.
come wherever. So
Mm-hmm.
it's nice that we're able to sort
Yeah.
of provide that local version of it. But one thing that I wish I knew before
Yeah.
starting, I guess just any brand in general, would be the technical design aspect of
Mhm.
it.
How
Well,
come?
Sammy and I never really came from like a
Yeah.
clothing tech background,
Yeah.
so it was a lot of learning.
Yeah.
Oh my god, like
It's
it's just
hard
so
because
much
like we both,
knowledge.
yeah, we both come from like business background. So it's
Yeah.
like we don't really have the knowledge of like, the really technical things that comes to like producing clothes. That was the hard part. Like the measurements, the patterns, the colors, the fabric, those things we had to learn like as we were going. So it was definitely, a learning experience. It was hard, but so worth it because like now, you know, we can see like how much people care about it
Yeah, I mean, we're still learning.
Yeah.
We're still on the way to improving what we're doing.
Of
I mean, it's
course.
good that
Mhm.
we're able to get feedback from other people because that's super important. I mean, it's just a two-woman team,
Hmm.
so I
Yeah.
mean, we don't really know. I mean, sometimes I'm like, "Ooh, I love this color," or "I love this design," and then Sam would be like, "No." It's like really trying to get on the same page and see because
Yeah.
like between Sammy and I, Sammy definitely has the eye for the sign, and I really don't. So it's a bit difficult because, um, I mean, it's nice that I have Sammy because I definitely wouldn't be able to make decisions, for the brand and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So it's good that
Yeah,
we're
because
able to work
we
together.
complement. Yeah, and we complement each other. Like I guess I'd say I'm more on the creative side. Maui's more on the, what do you call it, Maui? Like the brain.
Yeah,
She's the
the
brain,
structure, the
basically.
structure,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
She's
the
the brain.
planning,
Yeah.
Brains, and
brain
then
and
Sammy's
heart.
the beauty or
Beauty ka naman
substance,
din, ano
substance,
ba?
and then Sammy's style. Ganon, diba? Brains and
Ganon
beauty,
din.
Yeah.
substance,
Yeah.
style. I
But do you
mean,
guys plan on
Yeah.
getting on board like, a person that knows like more knowledge on the clothing tech or like fashion design, or you guys think you guys can stick it out as you two lang?
I think for now, actually, like we've already been working on our second collection, which is supposed to come kind of soon.
Ooh.
So far, we're able
Mhm.
to do it, but syempre, this is just still like a trial type of thing. We don't know
Mhm.
if it's actually gonna be a hit with everyone, but maybe in the future. Like for now, we want to be able to maximize ourselves and learn as much as we can. We don't really
Yeah.
wanna go approach someone kaagad if it's something we can kind of learn ourselves.
Yeah,
Um,
Yeah.
truth. And that
yeah.
experience is invaluable. Like,
Exactly. I've learned
Super.
so much in the past year or so, and it's so fun.
for
It's
sure.
Yeah.
really like something like a nice thing to have and, you know, give
Yep.
others.
Yeah,
No,
and oh,
go for
what
it.
were
No.
you gonna say? Oh,
No, no, no. Go ahead.
we also learned, like, I guess, patience, because like we've been planning this since last June
June
of
2019.
2019, and like we encountered so many delays, like miscommunication, like the wrong manufacturer. Like it was just like so many things, like so many problems coming up. But then you just learn to like come up with like solutions and just like go with it. So that's like
Yeah.
something we also learned from that whole process. Just like like building a business, it's really hard. Like there's so many parts, like working parts to it, and it's just nice. Like from this experience, I'm more aware of like everything, all the working parts of a business, like the manufacturing, the branding, the even website design. Like Maui and
Oh
I
yeah.
had to learn how to.
I
Yeah,
know. I mean,
that was
it's
hard. That
not
was
great
hard.
at the moment. I mean, it's okay
Yeah,
for now, but eventually we'll want to do like more with it. But I
Hmm.
think
yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it
I
looks
mean,
pretty
there's
good to me.
pwede na, diba? Pwede na.
No, pwede. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think like overall, like worst case scenario if it doesn't really work out, which I'm sure it will. You guys are doing great and pouring a lot of heart and effort into it.
Mhm.
But like worst case scenario it doesn't work out, then you guys still gained all this experience from it that you can apply to your future endeavors, and
Mhm.
like
Exactly.
it won't really feel like a waste of time because your brand is so purpose driven.
Mhm.
Like you know that kahit papano may impact naman ang ginawa nyo like back then,
Yes, yes,
so it's like
exactly.
you learn from it and you made an impact, so can't go wrong with that.
Yes. No, for sure. It's
Yeah.
nice talaga to know that we're able to do something quite different and somehow impact others or inspire others. I mean, we're
Mhm.
very new pa lang, so we still have a long way to go and we're still, trying to keep up and everything with everyone else. But one thing that we really learned from this quarantine or from this year or from this brand even is that, like things can really wait. Like at the beginning, I felt like I was in such a rush. Like Sammy knows. I was like, no,
Yeah.
let's launch like 2019. Let's launch November or December. But then like
Yeah.
there were just so many delays in between. We didn't from this we just really thought like no shortcuts. Like take your time,
Mm-mm.
develop, learn, and launch. Like there's really no rush. Like no
Mhm.
one's rushing you. There's no pressure, right? It's really yourself, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we were actually, our launch date was supposed to be March of 2020, and then COVID hit. So we were like like it's kind of a bad time
Yeah.
to launch a business right now because like everyone's at home, not everyone can like spend on this and everything. So we really had to like push it back, push it back, push it back. Yeah, I guess, like launching in this time, like in this weird time, was also definitely a challenge.
Yeah.
But, I guess we're getting through it.
Yeah.
People are
Yeah.
us, and yeah, I'm
That's
happy.
great. Yeah, I'm sure your parents are also super supportive of this. So
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
My mom made an Instagram just to follow us.
Oh,
oh,
really?
that's so cute.
Yeah, like she just checks our stories or posts. Like we're the
Aw.
only ones she follows, I think.
Yeah, my dad
Yeah.
always messages me like, "Oh, so proud," and like an article comes, or like when we're featured in
Yeah.
something, it's like, "Oh, congratulations, your hard work is paying off." Ganon, ganon.
That's so
Um,
cute.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice to know. More power to you guys, really. And I'm super excited for what you guys have in store in your next collection. And there better be a boys line. I'm telling you, there better
Oh
be a boys
shit.
line because
Anyway, maybe wait a bit.
I don't know any sustainable brands for men like activewear, like voila. But then yeah, it's tough also because parang
It's not a big
men,
market.
yeah, and men are
Yeah.
generally like kuripot when it comes to activewear. Like basta
Yeah.
it's like comfy, basta they can move. But
Yeah.
And we
yeah,
don't
Yeah,
want to
girls.
like
Yeah.
overproduce if there's
yeah,
not a demand for it. Like
for
it's just
sure.
gonna be a waste, which is
Yeah.
definitely something we're against. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I guess we could, experiment on that. It's just
Yeah.
yeah, we're
Just
still like trying
food
to
for
get
thought.
used to like we're still trying to get used to like
Taking it down.
women's yeah, women's activewear. Like we're still kind of, learning. So
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
All
Because
right,
that's
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
No, sorry, go for it.
Oh, no, because I mean that's like me and Maui, like we know more about like like women, like what women want for activewear. We're not really
Of
as
course.
yeah, because like girls, we want to look cute and everything, take pictures. Like
Of
guys are more like,
course.
yeah, the guys are more like they don't really like, they'll just wear
Yeah,
A shirt with a hole
whatever.
in it,
yeah.
it's fine with
Yeah,
It's all about the
just like
fabric.
that.
As
Yeah,
long as it's like, it's comfortable.
breathable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
breathable.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, more power to you guys. Thank you so much for that. So, for my last question of the show, um, it's medyo deep, I know, but it's called What is Your Why? So,
Why?
What do you mean why? 'Cause you can't.
why do you do the things that you do every day? What keeps you motivated? What is your reason to be? So you can make it as deep or as shallow as you want. Completely up to you guys.
Okay, I guess I'll start with this. Sammy or on? Okay,
Yeah,
fine, I'll
yeah,
start
go,
with this.
go, go.
So I think with me, like my why or my purpose, it all really sort of ties in to what's most important to me. So what's most important to me is having that like healthy, fit, sustainable lifestyle. So everything I do like every day really tries to fit in with what that is. So let's say with being healthy, it's I don't eat meat. I only eat like veggies and stuff like that. Like I've really taken out all the meat, seafood, and whatever. So that's like one part to it, or like eating, eating the rainbow basically, or like being fit. It's like having that active lifestyle like every day, or for me, in my case, every morning, and then after work, possibly doing different activities or learning new sports, and then and the sustainable lifestyle. I guess there's a lot of things that I really do to try to um, live that lifestyle. So I guess it's just being more conscious, living more consciously, and being more aware of things, basically. I think with everything that I'm doing, it's really a process of continuous learning. Like I mentioned earlier, you're not going to know everything from the beginning. So you have to like meet more people, gather more experiences, read books and whatever, and to really learn more things. And from that, you're able to do more, I think. Do more and do better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
For
wonderful.
for me, creating this brand with Maui, like it really gave me more of a purpose. Because, I'm a college student, so like everything I'm worrying about is just like, like school, grades, everything. But then this, like during the quarantine, really gave me things to like do, like a creative outlet for me,
Mhm.
like to really express myself creatively. And like it really pushes me to like try to do better, like with my like with what I consume and everything. It's just sometimes, there's that feeling like me and Maui, we both own a sustainable activewear brand, but then like on some days I'm like, I'm so tamad to work out, or like I'm such an imposter. Like
Yeah.
I'm not living a 100% sustainable life. But then like, it's okay. Like I'm still obviously learning, and it's really like it's a long process, and I'm just happy to have this because it just makes me more, I don't know, it just gives me more purpose in life. Yeah.
Yeah, and I completely agree with what you guys both said. Like, I'm in vet school, but I'm still doing this podcast. I'm still reading other things on the side
Mm-mm.
because you really just have to keep learning, and
Mhm.
whether it's along your path or not, that experience
Mm-mm.
is still gonna help in one way or another. And yeah, I think those were both beautiful whys. So yeah,
Existential.
existential,
Oh, that made us
quarantine.
think a bit. That made us think a bit.
Yeah, some midnight gospel stuff going on. But yeah, so I just want to wrap up the pod by saying thank you again for being on the show. Honestly, had so much fun talking with you and learning a lot with you guys about sustainable lifestyle and sustainable activewear brands. But before we go, I think now would be a perfect time for you guys to plug in where people can find you.
It's time to pull the plug.
I think you can find us on Instagram at Sunnysix Active, on Facebook as well, Sunnysix Active,
Mm-mm.
our website, Sunnysix Active.
Excited.
Then you feel free to just message our account or whatever if you have questions and stuff like
Mm-mm.
that.
Yeah, we're
Open
happy
to
to answer.
yeah, and have a
Yeah.
conversation when it comes to like sustainable fashion or sustainability in general.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, so listeners, take note. Search Sunnysix Active in any platform you want. No, you cannot have their personal accounts. They're both taken. So, bawal yan. Bawal yan. But yeah,
It's a secret.
secret. But yeah, had so much fun talking with you guys, and that about does it. So thank you all listeners for tuning in to another episode of the Rockets Modern Life podcast. If you guys enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that follow on Spotify, Facebook, and Instagram so that you never miss an episode. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.